This is the Franchise Basketball Insider, presented by Massengale Eye Care, Oklahoma City's leading eye care provider since 1989. Call 631-2020.
Greetings, Thunder fans. Welcome to the Franchise Basketball Insider. The trade deadline is come and gone, and Oklahoma City will welcome former Denver Nuggets shooting guard Randy Foye to the fold. They, in turn, traded DJ Augustine and Steve Novak back to the Nuggets and a couple of second-round draft picks, Oklahoma City second-rounder and one they got from the Charlotte Hornets in the trade for Jeremy Lamb. It's not addressed during today's Thunder Report, so we thought we would add this at the start of today's report. But we go over to Thunder Camp now, where they talk about getting better heading into the post-All-Star stretch.
Coach, can you give us an early look at Indiana? Anything, whether you guys have started looking at them yet?
Yeah, I mean, staff-wise, we have, obviously, Paul George is having a great year. They've gone through, some different lineups that they've played. Solomon Hill's is a mismatch problem just because a lot of times at the small forward spot and the way he can put it down on the floor and, create and do those kind of things. Obviously Monte Ellis is a great scorer. So Miles, I mean, they've got a really, really talented and gifted team, and really all year long they've really done a great job defensively.
Be an opportunity for your defense, particularly perimeter guys, to ensure that they stay out of the lane with Hill and Ellis and guys that kind of like to attack.
Well, I mean, it's a fine point too, that, where you want to be able to do that, but with the three-point shooting they have on the floor too, you don't want to get into a situation where you're really over-committing and giving up a lot of threes. So that's the balance. I think anytime talking about defense, it always starts with your ability to contain the ball on the perimeter, and the more you can contain the ball and keep that ball out of the paint, it helps you with defending the three. It helps you take away fouls. It helps in a lot of different areas. So, but they'll run a lot of different actions and do a lot of different things to create those opportunities for them to drive it and put on the floor and create. And they certainly got perimeter players to do that.
How much or not have you been involved in any kind of trade discussions? Is that all Sam and Troy, or do they come to you occasionally and say, hey, what do you think of this or that?
I mean, they'll talk to me, about different players. They'll talk to me, about, my opinion and thoughts. Really, like I said this yesterday, I trust Sam, trust the organization, trust Troy and the job that those guys do. But they keep me in the loop. But I feel like my main focus and job and responsibility, certainly coming out of the All-Star break, is to get our team back into playing and trying to improve and get better. And my job is to coach the guys that are here every day. And so that's where my time has been spent. And I think if there's any conversations that are really, really important that I really, really need to know about, I know they'll include me in it. But they've kept me up to speed here and there, but the communication part of it from my end has been great with Sam. And like I said, I trust him, and I'm sure he's doing a lot of work on his end and organized and looking at every possible situation. But really my focus has been on the team.
And with 2 days now working with the team, how did they come back? You pretty happy with what you've seen?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. For me, this is my first time going through an All-Star break. We've had Christmas breaks in college and things like that, but I thought our guys came back with good focus. They worked really hard. You don't know where their conditioning and their wind's going to be at. We were able to get up and down, and they seem to be in pretty good shape. And just wanted to get them back playing some and work on our defense, work on our offense. But I thought collectively the last 2 days we had 2 good days leading into this game tomorrow.
We've been talking about it a long time, but we really have to find our defensive consistency. We can't be a team that plays well for stretches and then not well for other stretches. We have to be able to, every time we come out there, be a solid defensive team, and I think that's the main focus for us.
And you mentioned focus on that when we talked last time. Can you sense that in practice? And if you can, does that necessarily transfer over into games?
Yeah, practice time definitely helps. In the NBA season, you don't get a lot of it once you start playing games, and to be able to come back and get a correction, so to speak, and come in and really fine-tune what we're trying to do, I think it always helps us. So it's good to get a couple days here. I think every team in the league is getting these 2 days, but it's about mindset. It's got to be a priority for us. We've got to come into games being focused on that end and realizing that that's going to be the key to our success.
Have you guys looked at Indiana yet?
We haven't talked much about Indiana. These first 2 days are more about getting back in a rhythm and again, focusing on our core principles defensively, fundamentally, and we'll talk about Indiana tomorrow at the walkthrough. But as always, it's always more important how we're playing. No matter in the regular season who we're going up against, we'll scout the day of, talk about the day of. But if we're not playing at a high level, it won't matter. We won't be able to beat NBA teams.
All right, that's today's Franchise Basketball Insider. Don't forget, we get our pregame coverage started at 6 o'clock tomorrow night at Flint inside the Colcord Hotel. And First Take after the game with your telephone calls and all wrap-up at Flint as well. Thank you for watching this edition of the Franchise Basketball Insider. I'm David Garrett for Oklahoma's new sound for sports, 107.7 The Franchise.